Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. You got Black Thor over there, you got Ice Water over there, and you're
Black Thor.
We're going to be talking a lot of sports. We're going to be talking NCAA March Madness. We'll recap that. Black is leading currently.
You're Black Thor, baby.
Going into the Sweet 16.
I'll say it again. Who's leading?
But I want you to
Who's leading?
Check out.
How about this?
A lot about we ain't gonna be able to set them up. That's why Gonzaga must.
You be giving out the numbers. Why you giving out the numbers, bro?
We're gonna give out the numbers later, man. Come on, cool down.
Man. Later. They might be sleeping later. Give the numbers out now.
When we get to that, hold your horses, big fella. Gonzaga must go down. Oh, we're gonna be here this whole year. Anywho, we're going to be talking March Madness, but we want to talk about the NBA trading deadline because there were some trades today that I couldn't believe. Check out our overtime later in the show because we talk about the NBA. We talk more about March Madness and why we thought teams that should have been in the tournament that got bounced out last week. But let's go to you, Black. NBA trading deadline, man. What were some of the surprises, bro?
I tell you what, I think Denver did themselves a serious good job, man. I mean, picking up the cat from Orlando Boone and McGee, Denver is to me right now. When I look at the West, Denver is it, baby. I don't care when Knucklehead comes back. When AD doesn't really want to play this year anyway. He got his money, he got his ring. He doesn't care about anything. That's a nice move. That's a nice pickup. A real nice pickup for Denver. When the first half of it, for some reason, I was reading it and I was thinking Utah for some reason. I don't know why. Because I think they ought to work well with Utah too, but I think Denver sure some things up there, some scoring there, a little more grit, a little more toughness. I think Lakers made a mistake letting McGee go, personally, but I think they helped themselves out a lot. The Heat getting the cat from Charlotte, it's not a bad pickup for the Heat. It's not a bad pickup. I'm not sure if it elevates them, but those two, and it's a draft that went on a couple of days ago. Not a draft, a trading one a couple of days ago. The cat from Houston. They went to Milwaukee. I like the move. I don't like Milwaukee, but I like what he can give them when it comes down to defense and a player that can lock up and play somebody on defense. But not bad, man. I mean, look at some of the drafts that took place. I like Rondo going to the Clippers. I think that helps them out a lot as being a leader. I don't like the Clippers giving away 2 first-round draft picks. I think that is absolutely stupid. But outside of that, man, they're not bad.
Ice, we talked about a little bit in our overtime, Lou Williams, going, and you two feel like it's a good move. I like Lou Williams. I like how he could drop buckets. But the Bulls had a pretty good trade with Orlando. It seems like Orlando is going to rebuild. One of the teams that a lot of people aren't talking about that I think really fared really well in all the trading is OKC, and I will tell you why. Because they have 34 picks in the first and second round, 17 in the first, 17 in the second. They're going to rebuild, and they got a whole lot of picks. They're doing the same thing, Ice, that Boston did years ago when they started rebuilding their franchise with all the picks. Now they have some trading barter that they can, trade with different teams to get some of the players that will help them out. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to start right there with OKC, which you just mentioned. That's a lot of picks. I just hope they have somebody in there that really understands how that works and how you can use them properly. Because you literally have, I'm not going to say a superstar, but you definitely have a star in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That kid can play. He's a baller. He can play. Now the question is, can you get some more younger players, not so much super young, like out to draft, but maybe some younger players that you can kind of use some cornerstone to kind of get somebody like that. I mean, I know Aaron Gordon would not even entertain going somewhere like that, but you need a guy like that where they can grow together, and I think that's key too. So we'll see what they do with it, man. That's a lot to unravel. I just hope they don't get beside themselves and do something crazy like Houston did. Houston, yeah. I promise, they are really showing how inept their front office is right now. From the beginning, you go out and you get Oladipo. You had Karis LeVert, right? You go out and trade for Oladipo. Then you get rid of Harden because he's mad or whatever. Then you get rid of you let these folks go. You left he said, was it Tucker that got traded? And now you're in you were in a 20-game losing streak. So the question is, you let Oladipo go, you trade him to Miami, right? And you get a couple of people back. But here's my thing. If you're going to move all these pieces around, from the start, they had Karis LeVert and Jared Allen, who's balling his ass off for Cleveland. If you're going to start from the beginning, these were two young cats that you could have rolled with and went from there. Now you got John Wall with all his money left, bad knees, whatever the hell's going on, and they got nothing to build on. And you got the coach down there crying, poor guy. Man, that broke my heart seeing that at that press conference crying after they won lost 20 straight. But you know, you look at that too. Also too, Denver, I like Denver, Aaron Gordon. He's only like 20-something years old. You put him with Murray and the Joker. Oh my God. And I tried to tell y'all laughed at me a couple weeks ago. I told you that damn JaVale McGee was gonna end up somewhere. JaVale, man, all they need is 16 and 8 from him. Denver, man. Okay, Denver, I see y'all. I like what they did. Otherwise, too, I do like the Bulls. They picked up Nikola Vucevic, and then Aminu from Orlando. I think that's going to help them be solid on the inside. And quiet as it's kept, even though Toronto held on to Lowry, I know they're going to probably end up not re-signing him at a large rate, so they're going to go young. And I think they did well, even though they had to give up Powell by picking up Rodney Hood and Gary Trent Jr. That is a nice way for them to kind of rebuild. But I'm gonna just say this thing about Lou Williams one more time. I love Lou Williams. I love Jamal Crawford. I would love to go in the gym and just watch them shoot or get in a contest with them. But the problem with Lou Williams and the Clippers, they were never ever able to get over the hump and win in advance with Lou Williams. And it's not really his fault because the way this team was structured. But if you have an opportunity to move forward by bringing in Rondo, one thing Rondo can do, he can help you make better plays and he can help you win in the postseason. So somebody had to go. Because the other problem is, I heard some rumors that the center was Ivanic. They were talking about including him so they could get Rondo. But if you do that, you got another hole at the center position. So somebody had to go. And I don't think they wanted Luke Kennard. They weren't going to accept that. So somebody was disposable. And unfortunately, it was Sweet Lou. Lou's all right, though. Lou got his money. They had won the title anyway. So Lou got his money down in Atlanta. You can go to Magic City twice a week without any issues. As long as he's back home before a curfew. So don't cry for Lou. And he's going to help the team because I think he has some scoring that he can do that can really help that backcourt. So don't y'all cry for Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou's going to be all right. He's still going to live in California. He's just going to be going back and forth. But Sweet Lou is going to be okay.
Yeah, Nate McMillan has that team playing really well. I wasn't really surprised that Laurie didn't move because he's 35. He's a little slow now. And people were talking about him going to Philly or LA. And then, as the deadline started to creep up, and you just kind of felt like he wasn't going to move. And maybe they'll do a farewell tour with him in Toronto. They haven't been playing in Toronto because they're not letting Americans play in their leagues in Canada. So maybe they'll do a farewell tour. But I wasn't really surprised he didn't move. Were any of you surprised that he didn't move? Black?
No, you mentioned it based on his age, his skill level at this point. No, I don't. He can't give you much unless you're putting him on a team that basically going to help you advance this year to win a championship. And you have to give nothing for him. I mean, let's just say if he was released, I would sign him, as a backup point guard. But outside of that, no, he's not at this point. And I like Laura, don't get me wrong, but he's not worth trading for. So I wasn't surprised. I heard his name thrown around a few times, but I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, we'll keep up on the results of all these trades. I'm pretty sure that there might be some trades that were agreed upon before the deadline that we didn't hear about. And so we'll keep you up to date on that. We lost another icon, Elgin Baylor, Ice. And I remember talking to an old school dude about Elgin Baylor, and he was giving me a whole lot of history about Elgin Baylor. I knew a lot about him, but they said that he invented the Euro step before the Euro step even came into the league. He used to float and dunk. And Jerry West was really upset when I saw an interview with him saying that he was trying to talk Elgin Baylor to play that final year when they won the championship and retired before the season, before they won. But I guess they dropped about 7 of those championships to the Boston Celtics, who were on a tear during that year. And it just seemed like his heart and his body couldn't take anymore. Give me your thoughts about the late Elgin Baylor.
Yeah, a lot of people unfortunately knew Elgin Baylor as the brain trust part of the Clippers, right? And they always judged him based on the Clippers not moving forward, but he did bring some decent players in later on. But as the player, Elgin Baylor was like one of the first high risers, man. I mean, he floated, like you said, he had that, you said Euro step, I call it hang time. Dude could fly in the air. You know, one of them like Dr. J's, when you fly by the rim on the side, you dunk it because you can hang in the air. People don't know about hang time. But he also was a scholar, also was a gentleman. That's one thing a lot of people will tell you too. Nice guy all the way around. People had good things to say. But he was a player. He really was a player. That's why Jerry West was upset, because the Lakers should have won earlier. But he played in that old school NBA too. And what I say by that is old school NBA, when the NBA was more physical and you would have to be a man's man to play, right? Particularly if you wanted to excel. You had a lot of guys out there that wanted to play and they were decent, even like guys like Jimmy Walker, Jalen Rose's dad. You know, they were guys who could really play in the game, might have not had the superstar status. But when you hear a name like Elgin Baylor, you almost have to know that he was a badass, man, because you had guys that, just like I said, were tough, and you might get run into the wall. You had guys at halftime, a la Maurice Lucas, smoking cigarettes at halftime, smoking a couple of cigarettes, Vlade Divac smoking cigarettes in the locker room. Dude, you had to be a grown man back then. And so if you were able to excel like Elgin Baylor did, hats off to him, and may he rest in peace, because he's one of the top players, man, top 50 of all time. Definitely, for sure.
Definitely. Black, your words on Elgin Baylor, man.
As a player, you had to respect him, man. I don't think his name gets the recognition for the way he played, what he brought to the game at all. That just doesn't happen. I have to be honest though, man. His name sometimes leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Not only just because of the Clippers, that he worked for Donald Sterling, and he had to be around some stuff, seeing some stuff, and just kind of put up with it. And that I can't respect. I just can't. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, one of the things that I was looking at some video of him is that he put up with a lot of racial, oppression and things of that sort, playing in that day and things of that sort. And so I got to give the man his flowers. He was one of the forerunners of, how we see the game today, floating, dunking. He had 23,000 points, averaged about 27 points a game, had over almost 12,000 rebounds and almost 4,000 assists. And I think he's unsung as a player in the league. And that when you get the respect of a player by the name of Jerry West and accolades from a lot of different players from around the league, and you make the top 50, you got to give him flowers. So have a peaceful journey, sir. And your memory will always be with us. The other story that they say it's on again, off again, Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. So it was off. They said Mike Tyson didn't want the 25 million. Now they say it's on again. Black, you brought this story to my attention. I'm gonna let you roll with this one.
Hey man, when I saw this, I thought about all the times you've been on this show basically wiping your eyes about boxing. How you yearn for the days of good old boxing where they lace them up and they don't care about the money. And that to me, it just says, I'm be honest with you, man. I wouldn't even want to see this fight. I mean, I thought Holyfield had, no, I really wouldn't, man. And I thought, because I don't think it's just, come on, man. We should be better than this. We should really, it's a sad commentary on boxing.
But we're not.
I know, but it's a sad commentary on boxing. I don't even want this type of entertainment, bro. I don't. Because it's a sad commentary on boxing. It really is. I mean, I understood it when Mike came out to fight Roy Jones Jr. I get that. But to me, you looking at Holyfield, what the hell? I mean, last time I heard the brother can't even speak a good sentence, from what I understand. Now, maybe I'm wrong. But it's just, to me, Holyfield needs the money, obviously. You know what I mean? He got about 35 kids. He's probably trying to go to college now. So he's probably way behind in child support. And I get that, but it's a mockery, bro. It's a mockery to think that, they can make X amount of million on the weekend of Memorial Day by bringing these two guys, putting them back in the ring. I rather see Mike Tyson. I got nothing against whatever Mike Tyson does. I don't always agree with what he does. I'm happy to see Mike in the Hard Mike Lemonades commercial. That's what Mike Tyson need to be doing, man. He made his name. He did his thing. Be in commercials. Go do some movies. Move on, bro. Don't let them play you like this anymore, man. So when you said, I just heard you say it's back on, I kind of hate to hear that. I kind of like the fact that it was off, man. Make your money doing some other things, man. Your name is Iron Mike. You'll always be out there. Holyfield, I don't know what the hell you're trying to do, bro. But don't let them play you like this. Don't let them play you.
Go ahead.
Only thing I want to say about this, man, if this fight happens, what they should have in the undercard is put Bob Arum out there to fight the other guy, one of the other promoters first, man. Let them go out in the ring and fight first. I'll pay to see that.
That's not how it works. When I saw this, I'm like, okay, they offered Mike Tyson $25 million. Then I read an article on Yahoo Sports that it's back on. They're trying to work out the details. I told you this was coming. These other fighters are fighting. Boxing is like stagnant. And if people are going to pay for this, why not? Look at your face.
I'm surprised that Black Thor said what he said.
Yeah, like he wasn't going to watch it. Yeah,
remember what I said? I came out and said, man, I don't want to see them do this to Mike. Black Thor was like, man, it's the money. We got to see it. And now, after we saw Roy Jones and that debacle, two men holding on to each other. You move, you go down. I ain't going down, you go down. We saw that tug of war. Now some Black Thor. I tried to tell you that before. And the sad thing about it is, how they coming back for more? And truthfully, I'm gonna say this. Okay, Boom, I heard you talking about how they doing. This ain't boxing. This is not boxing. This is Snoop Dogg. They need to have the weed companies up in there. Mike Tyson Weed Company is sponsoring this. This is not boxing. Okay, how you say this? This is not damn boxing. Quit saying that. This is weed, and more weed. So Mike Tyson said he didn't want to fight, and I don't blame him because I told y'all in that note I sent y'all, he don't want to get headbutted no more. But Evander is known for using his cranium. They call it the Atlanta shuffle, the Atlanta way, when you start busting people's head wide open. But Mike probably talked to his wife. Wife said, Mike, that's $25 million. All you have to do is go out there and hold him like you did Roy, and we get $25 million, and we ain't got to worry about it. Mike, well, honey, I want to go out there, and then he like, all right, I'm gonna fight for $25 million, but no headbutting. So, but you can't blame Mike. And I know the weed dispensaries are in front of it. Snoop Dogg will probably run it back again. But Puma, this is not boxing. This is entertainment.
Boxing has become entertainment.
But it's not boxing. Quit saying that. It's not boxing. This is not
www. That's what it is.
It's not boxing. I'm hitting like this, hitting like that, hitting like this.
Yeah. They're gonna put on a show just like last time, and both of them gonna get $25 million guaranteed.
And they're gonna hold each other and kiss each other on the forehead. It's not boxing. Stop that. You know it. You just trying to be funny. And I want to see more bad rappers, more Bloods and Crips hour about the people want to be rappers. Come on, man.
All right. I'm not gonna call it boxing. I'm gonna call it exhibition.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Entertainment.
All right, entertainment. On Memorial Day weekend.
There you go.
All right. I can't hold it back any longer.
Are you gonna watch it?
If Snoop is on it, yeah, I'm watching it. I'm watching. I was truly entertained by that. So if Snoop on it and he's one of the commentators, oh yeah, I will be there. I will be there with my fire stick. Black is leading in our NCAA March Madness. He leads 38. He has 38 points. Ice has 36. I have 33 points, and Pop has 31 points. And let's talk about some of these games that we saw, some of the surprises, one of the number ones going down. I picked Illinois to take it all. I had them up against Kansas playing for the championship game. And Ice, who did you have coming out of your Final Four, actually?
Well, my Final Four was Illinois, Baylor. Illinois, Baylor. Who else was it? Who else I had? I think I had Illinois, Baylor, Gonzaga. I'm trying to think of the other one that I had. I think it was and then I had Texas. That was my Final Four. So yeah, but when you look at it, I mean, Illinois, Chicago over Illinois is like, wow, it kind of blew me away. Could not believe that. And but Kansas getting blasted by USC. Wow, that really threw me for a loop because I thought Kansas would come out and play, but I think USC had the game of their lives, and I think that's how they came off. Oregon crushed Iowa. It was just not good for the Big Ten. The Big Ten was just like
I think Oregon had fresher legs. The first game was forfeited, and it just looked like they had fresher legs.
Right, and then even like I said before, the way the UCLA was playing, I mean, you got to give it up to them as well. And I'm gonna say this too, if I get off this real quick, is Baylor's look like the old Baylor, man. I watched Baylor, I was like, ooh, you don't want to play them, but they got a nice contest coming up pretty soon. But it was crazy like that, back and forth. I'll say one thing we ain't talked about, and we talking about this, about the bracket, I'm gonna throw it out there, is this, that Black Thor, you leading, and we never know, Sweet 16. I'm gonna give you props because you're leading right now until the weekend. But the one thing we're not talking about that I want to point out, in how many points is Pop's down?
He's down by 7 points.
By 7 points. One thing that I know that I see, which could make a major difference depending on what happened this weekend, Pop is the only one out of all four of us that has 3 of his Final Four picks left. That's dangerous as hell. Even though he doesn't, I mean, if Gonzaga does not win, I mean, but 3 of the last Final Four, and even though he has not had the winner, anything else goes off, this thing could be. So I said, I'm gonna hold off this weekend. But as of now, Blackthorn is leading. We'll give him his props on that. A lot of else could happen between now and then. Again, you looking at, I'm talking about myself, but you might want to be looking at Pops, because shit, Pops is, woo!
He picked Abilene Christian over Texas. I did not, and I asked him when he was picking that, I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. When I gave the picks to Ice was like, is he sure about this? I said, yeah.
Hey, Blackthorn, real quick, Blackthorn for the record, because we had a situation where we couldn't do the email. He couldn't really do all this stuff by himself. So to let you know that I'm true to the game, I had to get Pop's picks and put them in for him. I wanted to make sure they was right. I had to make sure they was right. So if I was gonna be kind of wishy-washy or playing favorites, I could have done it. I had the power to do it. That's not how I roll. Oh, if you win fair and square. This ain't football. Anyway, you win fair. No.
All I know, as far as I'm concerned, I won already.
No. It ain't over yet. You win already.
All the entire college basketball season, to be where I am right now, I won already. Because as far as I'm concerned, I can only come in first or second place. That's it right now.
So you went already.
It pops a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, because that Alabama team don't look bad. I made a huge mistake picking Texas. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm all for black head coaches. I'm all for that. It's time for that route to get out of Texas. I'm sorry, man.
Oh man, you can't give me the suckers.
Get out of here. You gotta go. You can't lose to Texas and Aberdeen, bro. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't. You just, he's been there long enough to recruit better players, to have a better team. He can't. And every time we keep waiting for him to excel, he does this. He does this. and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call it like I see it. I regret, and it's so funny because I try not to do this when I pick things, and I kind of picked him on an emotional thing, and I hate. I picked Ohio State. I thought they would go there, but the team that I kind of looked the other way because they were kind of coming into the tournament, kind of dragging a little bit, was Baylor. That's the team that I wish I would have kind of took to go to the Final Four, not to win it all, just to make it to the Final Four because they look like they caught something. The
Yeah,
Pac-12 is playing some good basketball, man. We never talk about the Pac-12 with anything: football, basketball, soccer, you know, hand hockey, whatever. We don't even talk about them. But Oregon, these teams look good. UCLA, I, it's so funny because the coach was saying he didn't understand why they were fighting to get in the first place, the way they were playing, and the way they were playing and where they're looking. He has a point. I mean, he has a point. UCLA is playing some damn good basketball. USC, another one. Who's talking about USC? USC was an afterthought for most people. So yeah, they're rolling pretty good. I'm happy to see some teams and some school and some players here again that don't get talked about. Even some team I'm trying to think, Colorado, those young men can play. Can play. When I say can play, they can play. There's another team that even Maryland, the first game they played, lit it up. Some of these teams even lost the second time. Even though they lost, they have some players, man. I spoke of Oklahoma earlier. These teams are loaded. And the thing that I'm noticing, I notice it more, maybe it's been out there and I didn't pay attention to college basketball. You have big men now in college basketball that can handle the ball, handle the rock, shoot it with nothing but net from outside, inside. College basketball, that's what I'm saying, man. The Dukes, the North Carolinas, they're in trouble. They're in trouble because a lot of these kids now, they ain't looking to go to those schools anymore. They're not running to go there thinking no, I want to go someplace where I can play, be around other players like me that people overlooked. And I think it's the best thing for college basketball, man. That's the best thing about this tournament. To me, it showed that you have players out there that are serious about their game. They may not even think about going to the next level, but they have game, they have talent, they have character. And I haven't seen that, honestly, in college basketball in a long time. So I'm happy to see it.
yeah. The Mobley brothers at USC did a job on Kansas, did a job on Kansas and Drake. And a lot of people are going to be looking for them. One of the things that we said in the overtime show about Ohio State, they played out of character, and that's why they got popped. Illinois did not make any adjustments when they were getting double teamed, which shook the guard up, and that's why Loyola got past them. There were a lot of teams that I think played out of character. Kansas lost a couple of players. Oregon, they were fortunate to their first game was not postponed but canceled because of COVID. They were playing on fresh legs. It just seems like I was trying to hang with them as long as they could, and then Oregon just took off, and so they benefited from that. But the Pac-12 has a lot of teams is still in the tournament. They're playing really well. Pop is picking Alabama, and I was checking them out. Alabama looks really, really good. And I didn't see them play like that in the SEC like that all year when they were playing the LSUs and all those other teams in the SEC. It seemed like they were struggling and trying to find their way, but they seem to be in the rhythm right now. So I'm going to throw this question out about the Big Ten, because the Big Ten got about 9 teams in this year. Is it because they have a brutal schedule, or did we overestimate how good the Big Ten is, Ice?
Um, I wouldn't say it's a brutal schedule because they were beating each other up, but they also look like they could win and move forward. I think it was just at some point really wanting it more. I really believe that. I think that you watch Illinois, Chicago when they played, they understood what they had a game plan. They came in and ran it, and they frustrated Illinois, and they seemed like they wanted it more than Illinois. You look at Ohio State. Ohio State came in against Oral Roberts. Everybody's like, oh, they're gonna run past Oral Roberts. They run into the leading scorer in the country. Dude's like 5'9" on a good day. He goes to work and does it. You look at Iowa. Iowa plays a team that really was fresh, was ready to go, as you mentioned, and they took advantage of them. The only team that really has stepped up, and I think because of the factor that people would doubted them because they lost their forward, that's Michigan. Michigan was like, you know what? Y'all don't believe us. But cats like the big center Dickerson and Brown rose to the occasion, and I think they playing with a little edge on there, with a little bit edge because of the fact that people doubted them because of who they lost. So it's going to be very interesting for me to see how they go against Florida State, because people think Florida State going to take them down. But I think Michigan has the type of team that, you know how Larry Hamilton can do. Put all your chips in on you. He will let your ass down. You talk about Shaka Smart. That's about Leonard Hamilton. That's what we talking about. We'll see what they do coming up, because Leonard's been known. He's the only man I know in the whole realm of college basketball in the last 5 years that always ends up in his recruiting class about 3 7-footers. Where the hell they come from? Can't nobody else find them with him. Like he's growing them, like he's growing weed or something. Where those 7-footers come from, man?
Like, is the case of the Big Ten is not as good as we thought they were, or they just beat each other up during the regular season and have nothing left during the tournament?
No, I think here again, man, I think that they basically, it's a good league, don't get me wrong, but I don't think their style of play transferred to some of the teams that they played. I think they got into some bad matchups to where they got exposed. And that they just truly got exposed. I think teams other schools had a chance to stand back and look at them a little bit. And again, I mean, I think sometimes we favor schools based on where they are, what division they're in, their history, not sometimes what they're doing on the court. And I think if anything, I think this is what this has showed us, at least what it showed me. I'm going to say this, man, because, he complained, they knew who he was and this and that in the Garden. I wonder was he wearing his ID? I'm talking about one Patrick Ewing. When Colorado put their foot up his team ass in the first half. Was you wearing your ID when you walked into the locker room? Because all that didn't matter that game. Colorado, I mean, that was disgraceful, bro. I mean, I know everybody likes Patrick Ewing and want to talk about it. But that Colorado did a number on Georgetown, bro. I see you pick Georgetown to go a little further too, by the way. So I know you about to do that.
Talk about you. He talking about me. He talking about you, Puma.
Me and Pop. Yeah, me and Pop. Pop picked Georgetown to go a little bit farther than I did.
They smacked Georgetown in the mouth and said, "Don't you think about opening and saying the damn word." They were shooting the lights out on Georgetown, bro. I mean, that was despicable. But he's worrying about who known him, whatever case, not knowing him. I will say this, man. I saw him on TV last night. Juwan Howard, I tip my hat to that brother, bro. Because to be a first-year coach, he has Michigan back, bro. They may not go any further than this. I think they'll win another game or two, but Juwan is coaching. I like what he said last night, but they was asking, he was on TNT last night, I was talking to him. He said, I'm learning a lot from the players. And he said, I'm still nervous at times. And he said, what do you think about when people were saying, you first got the job, you don't know about coaching, about college coaching? He said, you know what? I'll listen to that age. I don't listen to it. He said, I never listened to it in my entire life. I'm not going to start listening to it now. He said, I was happy for the opportunity. And that I'm happy to hear, man. That mentality to me says a lot. You don't pay attention to naysayer, man. You got a job to do, bro. But he has Michigan playing. He has some talent, and they're playing, man. I'm happy for him. And he ain't running around talking about who don't know him, who doesn't know them. He's getting the job done. Learn from him, Patrick. Learn from him. That little silly stuff you talked about made no sense, bro. None. You made it a big deal over nothing. So I was walking by the Garden the other day, man. I saw some cats, security uniforms on for the Garden. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of these cats that I saw stand, they wouldn't know Patrick if we walked up to him. I don't care how tall he is, bro. They just don't. It's a different brand of these younger folks. They don't pay attention, and that's just a job for them. They got a job to do. They ain't looking at you and admire you, going, "Whoa, you're Patrick going, I can't do my job." Nah, because in 2 weeks they got to get paid, and that's the point where I was saying that before. So I'm not trying to use it to hammer the man, but at the same point, you should be using that tension to coach your team up because they got their ass slayed.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Ohio University and the guard Preston. I saw him earlier this year, and I knew they were going to be a problem in the tournament. And they popped Virginia, a game Virginia team, and played Virginia's game. They didn't get by Creighton, which I thought they would get by. But Alabama reminds me a little bit of the Florida State teams in the past that had guards that could shoot, had long length, and could run up and down the court. And yeah, when I saw Pop pick them, matter of fact, he picked Gonzaga first. Then he switched back when I had to call Ice back to give him a pick. And I said, well, you missed one pick. And he's like, you know what? I want to pick Alabama. So he said he wasn't paying attention either, but I'm pretty sure he was paying attention. That some way, somehow to pick Alabama. And the way they look, and the way they look. The women's game, Black. I'm gonna go back to you. The women's game and the women's tournament. There are two different issues that are going on with them not being treated equally as far as the facilities that they're playing in San Antonio, and also Texas A&M played a hell of a game. The UConn coach wasn't there for the last two games. I was watching an interview with him, and he said he was watching the game and he got frustrated. He just walked out the room because he couldn't watch it. He said they played better actually when I wasn't watching. But UConn seems to be rolling. And have you been paying attention to the women's game?
No, I can't say I have, man. And I'm listening to you, bring the question, and I'm thinking to myself, they need to do something different. I know there's a controversy going on. It's not even a controversy, realistically, where they treat them and stuff of that nature. I think they need to find a way for them to not play around the same time the men's are playing. Yeah, I think it's just it's not conducive to watch the men and then go find them per se. I know they have their own following, but I don't know if they can play. I would suggest, and it's going to be tough, if they can start their season a little sooner, maybe even shorten their season, and give them the month of February, towards the end of February, where they can do their tournament, get their thing, and do their thing, where we can kind of focus on them a little bit more. I hate to put them behind March, but I just think it's too competitive back and forth, and I don't think even men that may want to pay attention, after you don't watch a weekend of all those games, it's hard to kind of turn over and watch the women, bro.
Yeah, and February wouldn't be a good spot either, because that's when the conference championships are going on to try to make it into March. So I'm not sure how they would schedule it, but I think you're right to have them competing against the men is just once you watch the 68 teams and it narrows down to 16, you kind of need a break from basketball. And they're coming in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and it just you kind of burnt out. But I forced myself to watch some of the games that were on, because I knew there were good teams that were playing. And I just want to get your thoughts on the women's game in the tournament and how it's going.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Sweet 16, Baylor's on fire, man. You want to watch Baylor. You got UConn still around, South Carolina. I think it's gonna be. I might start watching a little bit more now because all that's going on. But when we talked earlier about the men, about the Big Ten. We need to talk about the Big Ten women, because they are playing ball. In the Sweet 16, you still got Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, and Maryland. That's 4 teams from the Big Ten in the Sweet 16. That's the women are playing real strong there. Also, too, Wright State upset number 4 Arkansas.
Yeah,
that was huge. A lot of people did not. No one really saw that coming. But now with the Sweet 16 and a lot of the major players still in it, it's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Those questions coming along. Is Gino gonna be able to get UConn over the hump? Is Baylor saying the hell with that? We ready to play ball? I mean, this is gonna be somebody from the Big Ten that's gonna rise up to the occasion. So a lot of questions there. This is Don Staley's year for South Carolina to kind of prove everybody wrong, or is UConn just gonna keep doing what they've been doing, or is it gonna be somebody brand new? These are great questions to have, and I think it's gonna make the tournament even more exciting the rest of the way.
Yeah, I can't see anybody beating UConn at this particular point. They just look too strong. They look too strong, even though they're a younger team. They just look so strong that I can't see, and maybe I'm wrong. They might get popped, but they look really, really strong. Even without Gino on the sidelines, they look like they didn't even miss a beat. Let's go to the NFL, man. I know there are reports about Deshaun Watson, Black, and it seems like the number keeps going up, bro. What's going on, man? What are your thoughts?
What's really pissing me off about this, and it's not even the numbers, man. It's Deshaun Watson. That, from what I've always expected about, bro, how do you put yourself in a situation to where you have this circling around you? You're trying to get out of town. I know last week when it kind of popped up, the talk was, is this something Houston put together? Bro, if Houston can find 11 women to basically say what they're saying, I don't like this Jane Doe stuff. But my point is, why are you a man of your stature, who you are, and I understand you're young, and I'm going to give you something for that. But you got to know better. You can't be trolling the Instagram and putting yourself in a sexual situation with these women and expect it to go well, bro. You just can't. You just can't. So I'm not sure it's going to play itself out, because to me now, he can't even really, to me, you can't now come in and try to work out a deal because you're going to look mad guilty. Mad guilty. And you may not even be, but you're going to look mad guilty. And if it goes to trial, you're going to get hung out to dry, bro. Whether you want to lose, everything that's going to come out and filter out is going to make you look so horrible. And the NFL is just sitting waiting. At some point, they're going to put you on an exempt list. You're not even going to be playing, bro. So, realistically, if anything, this should be a lesson to other young men in sports or period. You got to think sometimes mentally before you think sexually. And he did a very bad job doing that, bro, in my opinion. And as a young cat, we all make mistakes, what the case may be. But you got 11 women, basically, or 14 or whatever. One or two, you go, you know what? But 14, where you're paying them to do this to you or try to get them to do this to you, you put yourself in a bad situation and you wonder he didn't have no boy and nobody to say, hey, bro, I mean, there's a better way to handle this. This just is. I mean, there are people that basically would do what you don't want to have done. No, they're not on the internet, flossing and showing themselves. But you bought into the social media hype, man. It's sad because this cat's career might be blowing up right in front of our eyes, man.
Yeah, it's sad on all fronts with the ladies that are involved and everybody that's involved and him also. And now you hear reports that that teams aren't talking about trades until this is cleaned up. So that kind of puts him in a tight spot as far as his professional career. What are your thoughts about this, man?
I got to tread lightly here, man, because I got people that's watching me and they're going to listen to what I had to say. But I look at it two ways. One, I think it's just a shame in regards to the women and how they're treated or whatnot. And then the fact that he feels he has to go that route. But I'm going to say this, Puma, I'm about to get in trouble. I'm about to say it anyway, though.
That's what we're here for. We get in trouble.
Like my daddy say, everybody got a little freak in them. And I'm going to just say this. For the women, I think, the way that women are treated in a certain manner, I never would even play with that or even say that was okay, nothing like that. But I will say this, when you look at it from the standpoint of other people that this has happened to or different things, and not to give him an excuse, but there's a difference, and I'm paying attention to the language, and I'm talking about from a legal standpoint. There's a difference between sexual misconduct and sexual assault. We have not heard that word assault. And it's not to give him any pass, but it's the difference between misconduct, where things is like he trying to get people to do certain things and trying to put people's hands next to certain things, compared to assault, which is closer to rape. And I think that, not to excuse it whatsoever, when it comes down to it, you're going to see how this plays out and what kind of evidence we're talking about. And you're probably going to get still his character and whatnot is still being looked at crazy, like, so he's going to receive a lot of criticism. I get that, but in regards to the league and how they go about it, I don't know. I want to see how it all plays out. Now I hope he, as a young man, does learn from this. But we've seen a lot of these examples before. So if nothing else, because sometimes you can't change the past. I just hope that he understands what's happening to him and trying to turn it around. And, now Houston going to say, well, you know how it is. You need to come on back. I don't know about that one either. But he still has to decide what he wants to do. I just want to see how it all plays out. Because, again, for me, even though I do not condone his conduct and what he did, how he was going about his business, to me, when I listen to it legally, the difference between misconduct and assault is major.
Yeah.
It does not exclude the way you treat women in a certain way. I'm not saying that at all, but I had to listen to that to see how this goes forward and progresses.
Can I say something real quick, Boom?
Go ahead, man.
Years ago, man, I had thought about becoming a masseuse. And this is the main reason why I backed away from it, because when you're in a room with someone in that particular position, something could be misinterpreted and they leave out and they say something, and now you're caught up in the middle, bro. You're caught up in the middle. And that's what I mean by putting yourself in a situation where, is it worth it? My man could have hired a private masseuse to basically do whatever you wanted to have done. You could have put her on contract. you could have basically, that all could have been handled. So I find it amazing. I mean, he went to one of the best colleges in this country, and he was there for 3 years. Let's be honest. And he's smart enough to realize, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to do this. I want to do X, Y, Z. He's smart on the field. I can't just understand and fathom here again how he allowed himself just to kind of just roam out there. And I understand the freakiness and all the case may be, but you have to live differently when you're a quarterback for the NFL franchise. You just have to. You can't live like the guy just walking out of a Walmart. You can't, bro. And for some reason, he didn't make that connection in his head. But, and I hear you when you say about the two differences, but keep in mind, this is civil. It's not criminal. I don't think it's going to get moved to criminal. It probably can't get moved to criminal because they don't have any evidence.
Right.
But let's keep in mind, when it comes to civil, they can damage him enough from a character standpoint and financially. And that's what he's up against. Because if you're sitting in that trial on the civil side and you hear he turned over, he did X, Y, Z, what do you think those jurors are going to say? They're going to look at a black man that can't control himself sexually. That's all they're going to see, bro. He makes millions. He's in a rough situation. And I here again, why are you hiring that lawyer in the first place? I have no idea. Just like Mike Tyson, when he was up against a rape charge, he hired a tax attorney. Are you out of your freaking mind? You need to go find, I'll be honest with you, there's a bunch of lawyers that deal with that. But you know the lawyer you really should go find? The one that Kobe Bryant hired, bro. That's who you need to go find. Rusty Harden is not the lawyer you should be having on this trial, bro, or trying to defend you, and you say nothing. That tells you right there he's not smart up here. He's not. Rusty has no idea when it comes down to that, bro. None. There's different lawyers for different type of things. He's not a lawyer that can handle this, bro. He's not. Go find the one that did Kobe. Bring her in.
One of the things I'll say, and then we'll go to talk some real football here, is that I think a lot of these college athletes get coddled and they get spoiled, and they live around a hedge where they're protected a lot. And once they become professionals, there are no hedges and people watching and things of that sort. And so I can see where some professional athletes who were catered to all their career, whether it was high school and college, get into the real world with a lot of money and they make mistakes. So
can I say one last thing, please?
Yes, please.
Because of the factor that I understand what has been said about the fact about using common sense and using the right way to understand where you're at, the prestige and all of the levels that you're at now, because you're not just some average Joe. I get that. But I've been around enough athletes in my lifetime. I got a cousin that played 12 years in NFL, defensive end, made All-Pro twice. I've been around professional athletes all my life. And I know I made jokes earlier about a little freak in them. I'm telling you, even entertainers as well. One thing I love about my daddy giving me true common sense is this. People make mistakes. People, despite having a lot of money, have things like that too, they get caught up. And I think that is our biggest mistake in society, is when we say, well, yeah, they're supposed to be acting a certain kind of way, but it don't matter. People like what they like. Some people give into things, that vices that sometimes they can't even control themselves. I've seen it from drugs all the way across the board. So am I surprised, or do I think it's sad? I think it's really sad. Do I think also too that yes, we should try to continue to set an example and teach our young men how to take care of themselves and walk that line proudly? But it was just said, the great Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. He was supposed to be the one, right? He's supposed to be the one, didn't do anything. He got caught up. All I'm saying is, it happens, and it can happen. Jelly Bean Bryant, his dad told him, don't get married so early because something's going to happen. You need to sow your oats. Oh, I got to get married. Dad told him, I'm telling you, all I'm saying is, it happens, man. It's nice to say, yeah, we can walk, they should walk that rope and do the right thing. But it's a lot of people that slip, man. Slip. Just because you make money, and you're going about the right way, doesn't mean people don't fall off. I've seen it happen a lot. Just what it is. That's just me. And maybe that's just my experience. But I've been around a lot of guys. When it comes to women and different situations, and when it comes to sex, some of the greatest people or whatever that we see them in a certain light, they lose it, man. Real talk.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the brother who got caught up, who does the social. I never listened to any of his videos. He just became famous later. I guess we'll talk about that on When Black Men Talk at some particular time. But yeah, that was really bad when I saw that videotape that you sent me. But a lot of NFL teams are making moves, man. And this is one move I do not understand, Black. We saw Kevin King with the Green Bay Packers cost the Green Bay Packers that win against Tampa Bay with holding, grabbing, not guarding his man, and they signed him for another 1-year contract for $6 million. If I knew I could make mistakes like that, play professional football, getting burnt, pulling, pass interference, all that stuff, and still get $6 million. And so a lot of teams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are trying to grab everybody that played last year, trying to make another run at it again. What are some of the things that you're seeing with the NFL teams, and they're making moves and trying to set up for next year?
I like Tampa Bay doing that. I mean, I know it looks like, and it probably is, they're trying to make another run. But I think, to me, when I see that, that's out of respect, bro. They realized that team galvanized themselves. They brought back Sue. I was happy to see that. And it's out of respect, man, because a lot of times you see teams win a Super Bowl and they start hatching. They start getting rid of players. Yeah. And it's like, they just won your Super Bowl. Even if they don't win next year, at least they did give you one. I know, it's going to sound like, what are you talking about? I'm very surprised if the New York Giants did. I'm shocked. I mean, Giants have made some moves. I'm standing back going like, they quietly brought Rudolph in as a tight end, which is good. Mm-hmm. They picked up a receiver. They picked up a cornerback. I didn't even know Giants was under the salary cap. I had no idea. But I kind of like some of the moves they did that they basically stepped out on. Of course, the Patriots, they did some things that was kind of interesting. So there's some teams that are quietly going about their business, tanking with some things a little bit that I kind of like. But here again, man, the Giants, man, I looked at them and I'm like, wow, who knew? I kind of believe too, this general manager realized he has to fight for his job now. And we saw in Steelers, and I think you said last week, if he signs, the coach is fine.
Juju, they weren't serious. Yeah. They're not serious.
Yeah, I think Juju found out. He may not admit it. He said he wants to stay here. Juju found out outside of Pittsburgh, they're not crazy about you, bro. Mm. Nobody's crazy about you. Your antics, what you're doing, you're not, you had a chance when Antonio Brown left to step up and prove yourself. And Claypool has come in and played better than you as a rookie. And that cat just got into a brawl outside of a bar. So I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, it's Chicago's talking like, they got themselves a nice find and a quarterback. And so we're going to see what's happened there. I'm tired of hearing about this damn Seahawks and they're not trading Russell Wilson. They're not doing it, man. Please stop talking about that. That's a done deal. I mean, really, I'm going to say this. Sports folks, you got to find some things to really talk about. Because even the shows I like, I can't find myself watching them anymore. I don't want to hear about LeBron every damn day. I'll be honest with you. I don't. I just really don't. I don't want to hear about what's they signed this contract about a month ago, it seemed like. If they're talking about Dak is in the pressure of signing. If you're making $160 million, take the pressure you're getting, bro. Why we talk what type of pressure he's on? You have pressure in any type of sport. But I'll say this real quick when I understand, because I don't get this to an extent. They're trying to play with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Why?
They've been trying to play with them for the last few years, man.
I don't get it.
Me either.
I mean, either cut him or leave him alone. The man has brought you to the championship the past 2 years. He's a bona fide NFL. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't know what more you want. I know you draft Jordan, whatever. You know what? Cut Aaron Rodgers, let him go play somewhere else, and start the quarterback. But stop. I don't understand. It's like, I don't know, maybe they don't like him, or the case may. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, in quarterback age, he's still got another 2 to 3 good years of playing inside of him. What are you doing? Green Bay.
Yeah, I think they make up stories to kind of, I don't know if they're feeling fire under him or they think they are. I don't understand it. But some NFL stories, man. Some of the trades and acquisitions. Some of them I don't understand. Some of them I do understand. I know the Bears picked up the Kansas City running back. They're giving Dalton the #1 spot, which they're trying to like all hands on deck, and we're going to root for him, and hopefully he can pull us through this period. But I think that the coach and the GM, their jobs are on the line, so they have to kind of buy into this. But what are you seeing?
If I'm the Bear, if I'm Andy Dalton, I'm going. What about those wide receivers y'all said y'all was gonna pick up? That's the first thing I would say when I signed the contract.
Who told you that? Who told you? Who said that?
Yeah, I'm like, what about the wide receivers y'all said? Because I mean, granted, I know he's excited, but you don't have nobody to throw to. It doesn't matter. That's crazy. Your favorite team, the Cleveland Browns, made a major move. They picked up 2 of the secondary from the Rams. So 2 guys from the Rams. So yeah, Cleveland trying to move up a little bit. When Pittsburgh in a little shambles right now. I told you, watch out for Cleveland. Anyway, but other things in regards to, I like what Miami's been doing. They've been trying to move some players around. They picked up a couple pieces. Again, picking up Jacoby Brissett as the backup to whatever they decide to do. Now it seems like Tua is going to be the guy. I thought that was major and a nice little running back as well. But the Houston Texans are just, anybody that's available can go to Houston. No matter if you played last year, 5 years ago, you got picked up with Mark Ingram, some other guys like that. You've seen all these names, and they're just putting things out there, and then they're going to have the quarterbacks out there adjustment too. They brought in Tyrod Taylor. I think they brought somebody else in, and it's like, you say you don't care about, you're not going to get rid of Deshaun Watson, but you damn sure seem like you adjusting just in case he's not going to be there. Maybe you knew about this situation and he may not be playing after. Oh, that's why you making all these changes. Oh, no, that's just true speculation and allegations. But we'll see what Houston does there too. And last but not least, I'm going to bring it out just because. Oh, 2 things. Curtis Samuel signing with Washington. Yeah. I think it's major. Ron Rivera's not crazy because now you brought back 2 Buckeyes together. Curtis Samuel, and 2 Buckeye wide receivers can get some chemistry going again over there. And then also, too, so many people swore that Cowboys going to cut Zeke. Are you kidding me? Get the hell out of here. That they won't give him. But they just said they weren't going to give him his money. Are you insane? He had a bad year. They all had a bad year. I read that. I was reading that before, that they were not going to possibly re-sign Ezekiel Elliott. They were not going to give him his money. I said, man, y'all are crazy as hell. You just signed Dak, gave him his money, and you had to start again with what you had. Who else is going to replace Ezekiel Elliott?
I don't understand that.
Oh, my God. That was horrible.
Are you too surprised that there are no receivers going to the Ravens? Ravens need receivers, but there don't seem to be any receivers going to the Ravens.
I don't think the Ravens are putting themselves out there to get one either, man. I don't think for certain. To me, the Ravens try to do things on the cheap, and sometimes you can't, bro. You really can't. They're trying to kind of do things on the cheap, and even bringing in what's the name, the receiver, the old Cowboy receiver last year, a couple of years ago, it made no sense. I mean, he gave you nothing. Why are you bringing him in? It just made. I mean, there's got to be a receiver on a team's practice squad that going to give you what he gave you. Yeah, but to me, it seemed like they're just not. I don't know. I think the draft, maybe they got their eyes on a couple of young receivers. They might, and if they don't draft receivers in the draft, then forget about it. Just forget about it. Just give him the ball and let him run the ball, because outside of that, they're not going anywhere. They're really not going anywhere, man. But I don't think the receivers that are out there kind of caught their attention. And you look at the receiver that was with the Colts that went back and signed with the Colts. Even the receiver the Giants got, I'll take him. I'll be honest with you. I read that there's some good receivers coming out in this draft. So if they screw that up, then I'm going to really start to question them.
Ice?
Yeah, I mean, you wonder about that, but then again, I hate to point fingers, but I'm gonna point my thumb at you over there. But remember, the Ravens last year were last in the NFL in passing yardage.
And the head coach,
There's a gentleman by the name of David Culley. That's the
yeah,
head
he was a receivers coach.
He's the receiver coach. Same dude back in 14 when Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers did not catch a damn touchdown pass. But you know what? I digress. So I don't know what Baltimore's doing. I know they're probably glad somebody left, but in order for them to move forward, two things, okay? You got to get some help for Hollywood Brown, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to pass the ball more. When you can say what you want to about Lamar Jackson being a mobile and running quarterback, but when he did throw the ball, he was definitely top notch in regards to making things happen and scoring points. But you just have to give him some help. And even if it's on the cheap, there has to be somebody out there. Has to be somebody out there. I mean, as sad as he is, and I know he went somewhere else, but hell, somebody even like a Deshaun Jackson, somebody that can move. You need another wide receiver. I'm starting to look at them like, is this Chicago or the East?
Yeah, because when Andy Dalton start getting hit behind that offensive line, he's gonna start seeing ghosts just like he saw in Dallas, and maybe fake an injury, allegedly, to get off the field and put Foles in, because it ain't nothing until they improve that offensive line. The Bears aren't going anywhere offensively, and they were trying to give up Khalil Mack and Hicks off the defense to get Russell Wilson. That's the story that was here now, and some draft picks. And Seattle wouldn't budge.
Nope.
Seattle wouldn't budge. So they were trying to get rid of Khalil Mack. There were two stars. Those were the two stars, Khalil Mack and Hicks, off that defensive line. And Seattle was like, nope. We just wanted to see what you will give up. So good luck, Chicago Bear fans. Once again, maybe a 7-9 or a 7-10 record for you this year. Let's go to, I know there was one baseball story here in Chicago. One of the top players got hurt. He may be out for a long, long time. And Chicago is people are predicting that they're going to win that division. But the way they got stomped by the A's 14-0 yesterday, and the top player getting hurt, I can't see that now.
Preseason, bro. I keep telling you, combine the hype on preseason and regular season. You have to pay attention. So let's run down this real quick. When you look at the East, you think there might be the Yankees. That's what they're saying. You mentioned about the White Sox in the Central. That's what the people were saying. The other pick would be in the West, the A's or Houston. Can kind of see that. Wild card Blue Jays or the Twins. In the National League in the East, Atlanta's getting a lot of love. Of course, the Mets might be the wild card, but they're also getting a lot of love despite their manager having a lead because his sexual misconduct. Where the hell is going on with him? And then in the Central, looking at the Cardinals. And in the West, the Dodgers are being called up again. And the Padres possibly could be making some noise in this West as well. But there's two sleepers in the National League. I think you should look at. You can never discount Washington or Philadelphia. And I think in the American League, watch out for those Los Angeles Angels.
What about the Dodgers?
Dodgers. I said the Dodgers in the West.
Okay.
National League.
Did they get a closer yet?
What? No, but it's by default. Hell, they signed everybody. They got the most money to sign the Yankees.
They're the Yankees of the West.
Huh?
They're the Yankees of the West since Magic's been there.
Yeah, they should. I mean, I'm kind of like how people feel about Dallas. Look at them. I mean, big deal about the Cowboys. Big deal. You got all the money. You got the best facilities, and you got top-notch money. Who cares? Same like the Yankees, the same way.
And man, this is my why you mad before I go to black. Stop taking pictures of your new and putting it on social media. Black, why you mad, son?
I kind of alluded to it earlier, man, with sports talk. It's getting to the point commonplace now, man. They're talking about some no-nonsense stuff. It's just, you got to be kidding me, man. I assume these producers get paid good dollars to find good stories, and they're just not, man. They're just not. I don't understand how you're gonna basically be on air for 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever, and you're kind of basically cycling the same stuff over and over again. Spend 30, 40 minutes talk about and not bringing nothing new to it. And I know we do different here, but realistically, I just think as a whole, it's time for them to step up and do a better job, man. I'm serious. I mean, I turn it on a little bit before I go to work in the morning, and they're talking about stories that nobody wants to talk about. I'm amazed how they're dominating with football talk for the most part. What's going on with this and that? Football is like 3 or 4 months away, bro. And if I see one more damn mock draft, I'm gonna punch somebody. I'll be
Oh, I
honest.
don't watch it now. I can't watch it anymore. Mel Kiper and all that. No, they
Stop.
change it every week.
Yes, it's crazy, man. There should be more to talk about, more interesting things to kind of speak on than just making up stuff. So that's where I am with that, man. Sports, I know it's kind of a saturated market as it is, but here again, if you're getting paid, you should be doing better than that.
That's why the only show I really watch on ESPN is PTI. The half hour, they touch on the subjects, and basically they've been talking about those subjects all day, but they touch upon it, give their spin. That's it. I'm not gonna watch ESPN 6, 7. I know people who watch ESPN like 4 to 6 hours a day. I can't do it. I can't do it because they're spinning the same. They have new personalities spinning the same story over and over and over again. And that around the horn, why is that even on television? To be honest with you, I don't know why that's on television. Ice, why are you mad, son?
This is a little bit different. It's not really sports related, but today, for some reason or other, I needed paper, right? I needed newspaper, right? So I went to my local grocery store. I wanted to buy our local newspaper here. And I don't know online that the subscription for our local newspaper, for like $1, you get a 3-month subscription, right? For online, and then it goes up after the 3 months. I said, okay. So I go in looking for a newspaper. Say, guy over there, I buy a newspaper. Then I buy another little newspaper, the USA Today little baseball thing, right here. Anyway, so I got the paper, and then the dude said $6. I said, what? For what? He said $6. And I'm looking at the news. I get it home, I'm looking at the newspaper, and the newspaper like maybe 35, 40 pages, right? Half of it is filled with ads.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and there's like 3.5 pages of sports and there's ads on that. I said, I used to be a journalist, right? I used to work for a newspaper. What in that? You asked $3 for this bullshit? What? I'll never buy the paper again unless it's a Sunday and I'm using it and I'm moving. That might be happening too. Are you kidding me? Man, I said, what the hell? I look at it. I read through it one time and I was packing something, moving something, and I just literally just tore the pages and used it for covering. Other than that, man, $3 for a newspaper.
Print media is becoming extinct, man.
Yeah,
it should be.
Everybody's reading online.
If you take the obituaries out of the newspapers here, nobody will buy it, bro.
Yeah.
And what did they do? And what did with obituaries? They just don't give a damn. There used to be a time when you took, and I don't want to be too harsh on our paper. They might not hire me for anything else. But there was a time when you took pride in your newspapers and how things look, right? They have taken the obituaries to blowing up the picture like this damn big right in your face and with some stuff. I said, who does that? You don't want to see those big pictures of people's faces like that. Dead people?
Yeah.
I was taken aback by, is this because people they have trouble with their reading glasses now?
The newspapers now, I used to buy the Sunday newspaper for the coupons. And I'm telling you, when you don't put sales circulars in there, the papers are basically like this, bro. Yeah. I don't even know why they're still printing them. I mean, but they're making money from the ads. But outside of that, most papers now, it's not worth buying. Don't buy a Monday newspaper. A Monday or Tuesday newspaper? Are you kidding me? It might be 10 pages long, if that. Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I bought a paper.
Yeah.
And usually, if I'm staying out of town, the USA Today, they'll put it at your, at your in front of your door, and I will grab those papers to take on the plane to read. But I can't remember the last time I bought a newspaper because it's like everybody's reading stuff online now.
Smartphones has killed them. Killed them.
They got me because I was sitting there going like, I wanted my damn money back.
Something that bothers me, and I was talking to a buddy of mine that's been bothering me about basketball, and I was seeing a few guys that are wearing these short shorts, man. It's very disturbing seeing these guys. It's a guy playing the NIT, Quinones, in Memphis State, and wearing these tight hip hugger shorts. It's very disturbing to see. Get some bigger shorts, man. We've gone past the age of 70s basketball. I don't want to see no tight shorts. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing.
We are as a country, baby.
He's like, why are you wearing the tight shorts? I know the Fab Five busted that up. Wear the oversized shorts, man. Don't wear the short. I mean, are they really requesting shorts that tight?
Boom.
Come on, man.
Let me ask you a question. And why you think they're wearing them, bro?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's just disturbing. You watching it like
Wow.
usually the point guards.
There's some men out there
and
watch them in tight shorts, bro. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's 2021.
Well, I ain't the
Those
audience.
cats that are wearing the tight shorts want the men to tune in and watch them in the tight shorts.
I ain't in that audience. It's very disturbing to me.
I'm just telling you what it is. It's where we are, bro.
First question. Skinny jeans and shorts.
Oh
Black. First question, bro.
I was talking about the sports people and television, stuff of that nature. So my first question would be, if you was to tune in and watch somebody do sports that's doing sports now, who would that person be that you would actually grab your remote to turn on to watch?
Ice?
It probably would have to be somebody in doing college basketball. And one person in particular, and I'm not saying that because I know him and he's been doing some good things, but I just don't like the way that he's presenting himself and his analysis. That's Jimmy Jackson. I really like it.
I like him too. Yeah,
I like the way that he's presenting the information and telling stories about things that he did. When he played ball and somebody else will reference it or whatnot. He's doing a hell of a job. And so Jimmy Jackson.
Yeah, he even did a story. He even said something on the air about how he likes Maker's Mark because his coach, he sat with one of the coaches that they cover the games with. And he's like, he got me hooked on Maker's Mark, and stuff like that is great. Mm-hmm. I love Clark Kellogg. I love Rafferty. I can listen to Rafferty all day with, Tickle the Twine and all that other stuff. He just makes the game exciting. He's entertaining and informational and educational as far as basketball. And so I just like he's kind of animated. So I could tune in and listen to him all the time. The one guy that I used to like is McGuire, who used to be on NBC years ago. Just loving him and really missed him when he passed away and him not doing college basketball. But Black, who you choosing?
It's been one person, man, lately on Tuesday nights. Now they have her on Thursdays. I've been paying attention. Should I say her name? Candace Parker, baby. She's bringing a fresh, innovative way to cover
a shot.
Yeah. And realistically, I like how she's basically delivering and bringing herself. And it's got to the point now where her and Shaq are going back and forth. And I like that too, the banter. I don't think it started out that way, but Shaq has found a way. And I will say this. Shaq tends to give better information when she's up there, and Charles Barkley's not up there.
Yeah, she challenges him.
She challenges him, and he opens up, and he talks more. And I'm sorry, man. The way, you sent me the story about Charles Barkley, and the way he was basically going on about that Indiana coach, why he got fired.
Wichita State.
Yes, and had no clue. They should have removed him right off the field at that point right then and there. Charles Barkley, for whatever you want to, he's a big buffoon, if you ask me. But at times, he's a disgrace, bro. He's a disgrace to think that he's able to maintain and do what he does. I don't give a damn who your daughter marries. Best day of your life. But he's a disgrace, bro. He falls short so many times, it's ridiculous. He has no clue. He's not prepared. He has no idea what he's doing. And we knew a long time when they put him on college basketball, it was a huge mistake.
But do you notice that every sports, the big stations have one of those guys on their station? Because you got Charles Barkley, you got Stephen A. I don't even watch Fox enough. They used to have Woodlock on Fox. But it seems like they have one of those kind of guys on that show that, just kind of irk people enough to watch it.
I don't know if it irks. I don't know if they think it irking, but this is going to sound kind of strange, bro. I think that's what they look for black men to do, bro. You speak of Stephen A. He's a character. Let's be honest. Stephen A. doesn't say anything sports worthy. He's a character. And so they look at some black men, now consider all of us, and they want a character. or character. And that's what he is. And that's what Charles Barkley is. It's not like he says anything of significance. He just doesn't. I mean, I would rather basically see Kenny Smith and allow him just to talk because he gives you something. But Charles Barkley, yeah, you're right. They find these guys that just big mouths, but say nothing.
Yeah. Ice?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think you have to, it's important because I mean, if you are a character, the whole point of it is you have to inform people. And I think that's what they're looking for. So, I mean, you would hope that's what people are looking for. But some people like to be entertained. They want to like, oh, he's so goofy, he's so corny. I'm like, I don't know, maybe we're in it for the wrong reasons, or maybe we're watching it for the wrong reasons. But a lot of people like that. I don't understand it because you can have your opinion all day long, but to me, it has to make sense because certain things where you look at guys like Whitlock and the way he went after Serena and Venus Williams is because he was mad, and I'm like, you still never giving them their credit. I mean, you could not like them, but give them their just due. If somebody's winning something or really great at something, give them their just due.
Yeah. What's your question, sir?
My question is, we talked earlier or was mentioned about the differences or discrepancies of the weight rooms and the other things going on with the women's basketball tournament and then the men's basketball tournament. Do you think that's ever going to change? Because it's clear somebody's like, well, the men got more swag. The men didn't have this. And knowing that the women are going to tell, I was not surprised when the young lady came out and showed what was happening. Do you think the difference in what is happening or the way that they're treated or the things that they receive between the two will ever become to a point where what they're receiving and treated by the NCAA will ever be equal?
Black?
No. And don't get me wrong, a lot of it has to do with sex and sexism, but the majority is money, baby.
Yeah.
It's money. It's just money. And that's what it comes down to. Your respect, money brings respect. It just does. I had a conversation a little while ago. They looked at what Michael Jordan was making compared to Sue Bird. And you really can't compare the two. Because Michael Jordan is making based on what Magic Johnson, what Larry Bird, what those cats did years ago to set the foundation for the NBA. So when you look at the locker rooms now of the college basketball players, it's based on what March Madness made 10 years ago, what it made 5 years ago. It's based on that. Then you look at the sadly to say this, you look at women's college basketball, it's not the attraction. It's not the draw. Now, should it be treated better? Absolutely. And hopefully that happens. But to think that's going to be treated evenly until they bring in wads, and I don't mean little wads of money, it's not going to happen. And it's just that simple. I mean, you could toss it up and down and go, whatever the case may be. It's based on finances. And men's college basketball, the money that's been made just this past weekend. I mean, even the weight room the men have compared to the amount of money they're making, that's inadequate. That's inadequate, realistically. Based on the money that these kids are making for the NCAA, from CBS, TNT, TV, True TV, who have even watched True TV television when they're not playing college basketball? Let's be honest. So there it is right there.
Yeah, Black stole my thunder on this one because even though I would like for it to be equal, it needs to be equal until they start generating the money that the men's sports make. Then it's going to look, window dressing is going to look equal, but when bottom line it's not because the money. I was thinking of sports that I would rather watch women play. There are sports that I'd rather watch women's tennis than men's tennis, and you see how much money that generates for them. And so I think they need to there's some way they have to find a platform where they're the only show and generate that interest where people want to see them more. And don't get me wrong, they play some quality basketball. Watching that Texas A&M game this week, quality basketball. They were going at it. The young lady who made the last shot, it was just touching to see her at the end of the game and how she said, my team believes in me, but that doesn't bring the money. That doesn't bring the money. And the only way some people see it is highlights. They're not watching the game. They're not paying attention. And it's sad to say we live in a society where women are looked upon as second-class citizens, which in my eyes, they are not. But until they start generating the cash flow that the men really carry, then they probably won't. They're supposed to be equal in the Title IX piece that they put in college sports, where all team sports, whether it's men or women, are equal. But the NCAA, I don't think enforces it the way they should. And one of the things that I know the Alabama team said that they knew that the Alabama football team made all the money. They said, we enjoy spending it. So we're going to keep winning and we're going to keep spending their money. And I wish the women's team got as much as the men's team in college sports. But long story short, no, until they start generating more funds for the university. Money makes the world go round, sadly to say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with what you both have said. And you can even hear from the announcers. I think there was one young lady that was an announcer. She used to be a former basketball player at Louisville. And she talked about, they asked her how she felt about the difference between men and the women. She's like, well, I know they want me to be mad at the men, but she said, like you said, that when they make that money, it allowed me to play, allowed me to go to school for 4 years, allowed me to enjoy some of the fruits of the labor that may not have been there unless the football team did well or the men's basketball team did well. They may not have had a track team or something to that effect. And some women understand it. Is it fair? No, it's not fair at all. As you mentioned, money makes the world go round. But at the end of the day, we know what the cash cow is. And they use Title IX to say, well, we'll at least have the sports available for them to play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's how they kind of equal it out. But as far as the money, I just don't see it. I mean, let's be real. How many people did you hear clamoring for the women's March Madness? Did you hear that? Did you, when it was shut down, did people, oh my God, it's over. The people losing their minds. But when the men's tournament was canceled, you had coaches going crazy.
Betting.
Yeah. So with that being said, that shows you right there what's most important. And I mean, I had to tell you, I maybe I'm looking at the wrong station, but I have had a hard time trying to even find the games.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the same with the WNBA. When we go to Black Wood Report, it's like he's talking about games. And I'm like, they played? And the only way I know is I got to look at the stats to see who played, who won, and stuff like that. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Men, they didn't have that problem this time, and they made sure they went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday at 12:15.
I was shocked at that.
Game.
Yeah, I was shocked.
I was like, dang, God.
I thought it was gonna be Monday night.
Woo!
When I went to watch Gonzaga on my phone. I was like, damn. I'm serious, man. It was genius, though. Genius.
Oh, it was sweet.
Yes.
I know people that took off work, like, I ain't going to work today. They're like 12:15, 2:15. What you got it for? We got, who you think gonna win in 6 o'clock game? 6:15, 6:30, 6:40. Man, that was brilliant. I cannot wait to see the ratings. I know True TV, Cut TV, Fishing TV, whatever the hell it was on, it didn't matter. Yeah. Everybody got paid, bro.
Yeah. So let me ask. So I'll throw out a question for the both of you this time. What do you think about the schedule? Do you like it? Do you not like it? The new schedule that they came up with this year with the tournament.
Bro, come on, man. I'll just say this, man. I work with some cats this week. They pissed off. They got to wait till Saturday to watch basketball.
I was looking forward to Thursday night, Friday.
Yes. They pissed off. I mean, I'm gonna give them credit, man. That starting Thursday and where they rolled to Monday night, you couldn't get any better, man. The anticipation of coming home or watching it on your phone or whatever in the games, man. It's just they knocked out the box of the schedule, bro. Remember years ago that was the biggest problem with the match games were going on, you couldn't see whatever.
Yeah,
it's like no, man. They knocked it out and they really have. Michigan State, fortunate enough, even though they lost, the name of itself on Thursday night as a play-in did them a big favor, bro. huge, and UCLA for that matter, huge favorite, man. So no, the schedule was perfect, perfect.
I almost fell asleep with the first game on Thursday night because it was a team just walking it up the court every possession. But I like it, and then I don't like it because I'm used to Thursday and Friday. All right, I'm back in front of the TV like tonight. Back in front of the TV. Okay, here we go again. Here we go again. I'm being up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning looking at the replays and all this other stuff. But are you liking the schedule? What's up?
Man, that was outstanding. That was fantastic.
Look at that smile.
And I've not watched a lot of games. I mean, it was so beautiful, right? I'm sitting there, even though I watched my bracket, I'm like, damn, Black Doors winning. Anyway, when I got, as I'm getting over, everybody got, kind of say, well, you still got a chance. As I'm processing that, I said, well, I'm going to get out of here because Illinois lost. I was like, man, I don't feel like watching that. I said, well, I'm going to go take a walk. I pull out my phone. I'm like, shit, UCLA's on. You know what I mean? So it's like, boom, you can do other stuff. Yeah. You got your phone. I'm walking. I'm watching the games. OU, Ohio U. It was just back to back to back. No matter where you were, you could watch the games. That was beautiful. And I know it was 4 days in a row, but it was like, you got to watch it. It was like a bad accident. You like, I hope they're all right, but damn, you see that car turned up? You like, but you had to watch it because it was just on, and you had solid commentary and guys like Jimmy Jackson, Clark Kellogg, other guys that are around that have played ball. They give great commentary, and it makes for great TV. I was just like, and you learn about the stories about the players, and your girl Sister Jean. Anyway.
I'm not liking Sister Jean right now. I'm really not liking
it. You learn a lot more about the teams and the players, and I think they did one hell of a job across the board, even to the point where the funniest stuff to me, and I'm gonna get off of this, is when they had the little puppets out there or the little mannequins out there, the little characters dancing, and they had my boy Clark Kellogg and them dancing. I said, man, boy, y'all something else. Now, I wonder how much the money did that cost? Because I'm sitting there going like, what the hell? They got y'all dancing now? Damn. I'm like, text Clark and go, that's what we doing now?
Where them dollars at? I mean, you got a lot of people who make a lot of money dancing.
Clark was like, damn, Clark, what?
And they were serious too.
Everybody but Greg Gumbel, huh? What's up, Greg?
You just looking at him crazy.
Greg, like, look, well, y'all missed the coin flip. You ain't doing that stuff. He said, I ain't doing that.
Black, your last second shot, man.
Woo. I got to tip my hat to the performance of the college basketball weekend, bro. I know we missed it last year, but they turned out this weekend, bro. They really did. The anticipation of this coming weekend of playing basketball games is super high, and it's just where it needs to be. And when they say March Madness, last weekend was more than madness, bro.
Yeah,
they got to come up with a new name because madness doesn't even cover anymore. But the scheduling, the players, the games, the way they have the teams playing certain teams, and the matches. Hey man, you couldn't ask for anything better. You just couldn't ask for anything better, man. It was solid. Kudos to them.
Yeah, I second that. Ice
mine split real quick, ladies and gentlemen. The bad language and the things that were the daggers that were thrown at EJ Liddell, Ohio State basketball player, for missing shots or not playing up to a certain level was despicable and horrible. The way to come after a young man that's a hell of an athlete and gave you all that he had because they lost a game. And let's be real, and I said this to other people before, if he wasn't on the damn team, they wouldn't even make the tournament. Mm-hmm. So y'all need to turn that ass back and recognize. And I just feel my heart goes out to him. I'm glad that he's not taking it too hard. But he said, why do I even deserve that? And last but not least, I'll throw something else in there real quick. I got to take my hats off to Oral Roberts. Yeah, they beat Ohio State. But I was so impressed by Max, was it Asmus, and then Kevin O'Banor. Brothers was balling, and they still balling. Don't know if y'all going to win this week. I'm not giving out no free tips either. Check me out next year after I win this. Anyway,
I think I say this every year, and I have to say it again. I have a lot of fun with March Madness, whether my team wins or not. It's fun going up against these guys and going against the picks because it's a crapshoot. You never know who's going to win. But we have to remember that these are kids. These are kids. These are kids. And I thought about something a friend of mine said to me not too long ago. He said, imagine being a coach, having to depend on 18, 19, 20-year-olds for your job. It's a hard job. That's a tough job. So these are kids and they're playing their hearts out. They don't get paid, but we enjoy it. And just have fun. Have fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed the tournament after missing it last year. Whether teams I picked win or not, just seeing these guys go at it and playing with their hearts. I told a friend of mine who is from India, who is trying to get into March Madness, look, this is the best time to watch basketball. Forget about the NBA. You're not going to get the competition you get right here. But this is one and done, and it's the best time to watch basketball. And hopefully next time I see him, he's learning a little bit more about the game, and he has a lot more questions about all the madness that's been happening thus far. That does it for us. We will see you next week. Continue to watch the madness. We will give you updates on who is leading after the Sweet 16. Look at, he's talked more college basketball today than all year long.
What's the numbers again?
I'll post them up. How about that?
You better win. You better win. You better win. All this
talk, must go down.
You better win. You don't win, boy. But you told me
you already Gonzaga to go down. I know you're rooting for Gonzaga to go down.
But like you said, you already won. It don't matter.
Second or first, baby. Take your choice.
So, Black, you ain't want to talk about the when I talked to you the other day. You ain't want to talk.
Nah, baby. Talk about on the show, man. Talk about on the show. You talk about in the phase of the show. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. You have order. You have order. You have structure. We maintain order and structure. You all been talking all weekend.
We've been talking all weekend.
We've been talking all weekend.
Tripping. Ain't nobody talk about this. We ain't you.
Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to, baby? Who?
I'm not talking about the tournament.
Ice,
I'm good. Please,
Ice, Puma. We talking about on the show. Bring on the show, baby.
Whatever, man.
Bring on the show, baby. Bring on the show.
Hey, we ain't talked. I've not talked to him about basketball.
All year you all talk about basketball. This weekend during the tournament.
All year we been talking about basketball.
Hold it.
What?
You all talk about basketball during football, soccer, boxing, everything else. The tournament started last week. You're going to tell me you already talked the whole weekend.
You talk on the show.
No. The question is,
we didn't talk at all about basketball. We did not.
Y'all did not talk the whole weekend about basketball.
No. I promise you on that.
For good reasons, I'm sure.
The only thing I did was text y'all about Sister Jean. That's it.
But y'all talk any other time about basketball. You see this game, you see that game. Why not?
It's a tournament because it's something on the line. Like it's like me calling you and talking about, listen, who did you pick this week for NFL? Are you effing kidding me? Really? Damn sister that way. I'm like, yeah.
I don't believe it.
Man,
I don't believe it.
Hey, you know what? Whatever.
I don't believe it. I get y'all talk all during the season about
that. That is your prerogative. We talk all during the season on the show about basketball.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Talk offline on basketball.
But y'all don't text each other. Don't text each other about the games.
No. I promise you that. I can show you. You know how much money I made on parlays and made other people money? Do you think Puma got some of that?
I have no idea.
Tell me about
All
it.
I know is
I need some money. You ain't tell me about that.
Look, I got people literally. My brother and my cat. I'm talking about Oral Roberts after they beat Ohio State. Are you kidding me? Cash money.
So you pick Oral Roberts to beat Ohio State.
Huh?
You pick Oral Roberts to beat Ohio State.
No, I did not. What I'm saying to you is the next game, people were asleep. I made them money. I picked Oral Roberts to win the second game. Yes. Come on, man. I've been doing this a long time, bro. Shit, what? Why would I call him and be like, oh,
yeah. Now,
Hey,
call me and let me in on that. Brother need to make some money on some parlays.
That's what I'm talking about. We talking about that. We
picks
talking
too,
about
bro.
money. We talking about real money. I mean, I enjoy things with what we do here, but I'm talking about some real
Maybe you
money.
should have called Puma.
Yeah,
Judging
you
by
should have
look at
called me.
things.
I wanted to make some money on some parlays.
Hey, we talking about look, $10 to make $255, baby.
Yeah, call me. Yeah, I haven't even talked to Pop. He just wanted to know who was in the lead and stuff like that.
What was his reaction?
I haven't talked to him this week, but he was the one to pick Abilene Christian over Texas.
Oh, you didn't tell him who was in the league?
Yeah, I told him like in the first round. And then I said, well, I'll update you every week after the show. Yeah. So yeah, you in the lead for now. But Gonzaga must go down.
Yeah, okay. The same way, they must go down, all right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For now.
They must go down.
I mean, he's in the league. That's cool.
Oh yeah, you're in the lead right now. Yeah.
Hey, remember in football, he was in the league for a while too, wasn't he?
Totally different season here, baby.
Everybody.
Different season.
Everybody.
For now. Puma, you gonna say for now?
Yeah,
for now. What place are you in, Puma?
I'm in third.
Okay.
I'm only 5 points behind you.
Right.
And Ice is only 2 points behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Pop is 2 points behind me. So anything could change, especially he got a hot team, Alabama. I ain't see Alabama coming like that.
Oh, me either.
It's obvious you didn't see a lot of teams coming.
No, I watched Alabama in the SEC. I didn't know they were that good.
You ain't see a lot of teams coming, baby.
Oh, no.
If you want to get to it, let's get to it. You ain't see a lot of teams coming based on your pick. Let's be honest, man.
You ain't see Oral Roberts.
X. Come on, man. This is your sport, baby. This is your sport.
Listen, when the great Jay Billis is saying my brackets are blown up, I'm in good company because he ain't see it either. And
I gotta go to Ice. I know you made people money on the second game off of misery. What the hell happened to Ohio State, Ice? Come on now.
Nothing happened to Ohio State.
No, they got their ass kicked. That's what happened to them. How that happened?
Okay, let's be real. I'm gonna break this down for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Get their ass kicked. They had two major players. The main dude is E.J. Liddell, the one that caught the hell with all these dumbass racist comments they put out there. The dude was on fire. He's like a player of the year candidate. They came down the clutch. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not talking about hating anybody. I'm just talking about what facts is. Dwayne Jackson Jr., Washington Jr., started to shoot the ball late in the game. He started to gun.
They took him out the game.
Listen, he hit one shot in the Big Ten tournament. Everybody told him how great he was, and he took the shots. E.J. Liddell got the ball. They were down by 4. He hit the jumper to bring them within 1, and they didn't go back to him. They went to old guy. It's simply put like this. They overachieved. They played over their head all year long. And if you notice, when they played with teams that were better than them, particularly with more talent, Illinois, Michigan, and Iowa, there was too much for them. And what they ran into, real talk, in that game against Oral Roberts, the little dude was Asmus, was the leading scorer in the country. They did not get out on the 3, and he killed him. Him and the other dude, what is the other dude's name? Begins with an O. They combined for like, was it 52 points? And they beat them straight up. That's what I'm saying. But then you
they need to take the word big out of the Big Ten when it comes to college basketball.
Exactly.
There ain't nothing big about the Big Ten. Baby.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The whole Big Ten, for that matter, besides Michigan, laid an egg. And I mean, it is what it is. You can't change it. I mean, the bracket is what it is. I will say this though. And maybe they said it because they hating. These so-called experts that everybody love, the Jay Billis and other people like that too. Somebody said the people that are actually winning these brackets probably don't know nothing about college basketball.
You're okay.
Because it's not, I'm just saying, because normally it don't run like this. It's a weird year, and I get that. But so many people, maybe they hating, but they said this is a year that not a lot of people that know about basketball is sitting pretty. I'm gonna leave that right there.
Here's what I saw in the Ohio State game. that Ohio State all year, Ohio State doesn't have any superstars. They don't have like a standout player that's player of the year or even in the second team, third team. They play better as a team defense, team offense. When Washington started trying to play hero ball, that's when they started losing because that's out of character for them. He started to throw up threes. They started to panic. And that's when they lost the game because Oral Roberts was in their shirts defensively.
Liddell is the best player, though. Liddell is their best player.
I think they panicked because they was playing a better team. It was just that simple.
And it could have been. Yeah. I mean, I don't go against that. And Oral Roberts was hitting their shots.
Yeah, they came against a better team. I want to address what Jay Biller said because to me, that's a cop-out. I think, and I'll be the first to say I didn't watch a lot of college basketball this season, but looking at the first weekend of the tournament, one thing that stood out to me is that these players that are non-one and done are being going around to different universities, bro. Mm-hmm. And these other teams that we don't want to talk about, they're not drafted. They're recruiting good players for their team, good character players, good character guys. Guys ain't ready to run off to the pros and start playing that can ball. I mean, you look at that kid for Oklahoma. I can't think of his name. That young man was on fire against Gonzaga, on fire. So you can talk about people not knowing what they're doing, but Jay Billis focuses on North Carolina. He focuses on Kansas. That's easy to do. Maybe you should start doing some real work and start paying attention to the whole college landscape as a whole, which you are paid to do that you don't do.
Yeah, that's valid.
It's valid. It was to me, it was a different year. It was a weird year. I mean, because when you look at Illinois, to me, and that's why I picked Illinois. Illinois was the hottest team playing basketball.
Yeah,
they were, but they met a team that was more hungrier. They played harder than they did, and clearly, when I knew Illinois was in trouble in that game against Illinois Chicago, when they started to double the guard that everybody loves, and the big man for Illinois Chicago was ripping him like it was nothing, stealing the ball. I'm like, how are you letting this happen?
That's coaching. Because when I saw that game, Illinois runs that weave in the top of the key, and Kofi's man was the guy that kept trapping. Right. So why don't you put Kofi down on the block and quit trying to pick the man so the guard can do what he needs to do? So he was just bringing an extra man to him. And I'm like, even Rafferty was saying that during the game. It's like, why is he bringing him to him? Get on the block. It was just no adjustment. And then the guard got rattled. He started turning the ball over. Ball game. Loyola is a team that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And even though they're not as good as that other team, they're very smart. They're very smart in the way they play defense.
I think a lot of it though is this year for me. I think a lot of that DAWG came out. A lot of teams, as Black Thor mentioned, did not get a lot of the fanfare, and they came out when they played against these other teams. They weren't afraid. I mean, a lot of it you see. I mean, I've been the biggest critic of UCLA all day long because of their coach, but they played ball. They
played in the Thursday night game.
Yeah, even with Syracuse, it's like Syracuse.
I didn't even think they should be in.
Right, but it comes back to the point of these players that maybe have not received a lot of accolades. This year they came out saying, you know what? We don't care about who's number one. We don't care all this other stuff. We just gonna play. And if y'all come play with us, great. If you don't, we're gonna beat y'all. And you saw a lot of that. You saw a lot of teams that were not the top 4 seeds or what have you, getting taken. The other teams taking these top seeds down. And I applaud that because, I mean, who the hell ever heard of Oral Roberts? My brother was all in because everybody had Ohio State going to the Final Four. Not I, but and I live in Columbus.
I had them going.
Look, I live in Columbus, Ohio. I didn't have them going. But my point of it was, Oral Roberts was like playing ball and they beat him. And then I looked at the schedule and I was looking at and I said, and this is where they're looking at me crazy because I said, okay, I watched Oral Roberts against Ohio State, right? And then the next matchup was against Florida. And Florida barely got by. And I said, well, I'm choosing Oral Roberts in the next game because Florida is known to be flighty and flaky. Talent-wise, they're a better team. But they don't make good basketball decisions. And if Oral Roberts was to stay close, they win the game. That's what happened.
Gonzaga, go down.
Now that's gonna give you an excuse not to watch college basketball all year. Oh, my stomach hurt.
Look. If Gonzaga lose, we're not doing black men talk. He was like, look, we ain't doing the show this week.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. I don't even want to talk to y'all this week.
I feel good about Gonzaga, baby. I feel good about them. I feel good.
I'm glad you do. All I'm just say this is, and this is the main, I've been pumping Gonzaga all year long, and I should have said it earlier, but I'm gonna come to the confession area now. I like Gonzaga. I think they're the best team in the country. I saw it. I've been watching them all year. We pumping them up. So I know you feel comfortable with that because we've been talking about them a long time. So that's cool. But the one thing that made me go, and I still stick with it. If they win it, they win it. But knowing that no team, undefeated team, has won it since 1976 was a stickler for me. And it's hard to win 6 straight games. And not saying they can't do it because they're a hell of a team. But if they slip, I'll just say this. There are some teams out there in this Sweet 16 right now that I think will give them a run for their money. And
it could be easy.
I think the space is too long.
Yeah,
opens it up for that.
Well, they're gonna have to earn
it for them longer.
I'm just saying, talent-wise, there are some teams left still that make you go, damn. Because I'm telling you right now, the game that I wanted to see, and we might see it. I hope it comes down to it.
Gonzaga and Baylor.
Gonzaga and Baylor. Yep. Anyway, I want Gonzaga to lose earlier, but we'll take it. But Gonzaga Baylor is the game we were supposed to see in the regular season. It did not happen. And I just like the way Baylor is back on their defense. They look like old Baylor. And that's the game we wanted to see. And maybe that'll be what we'll get for the final.
You know what bothers me about teams that play Syracuse? How come teams can't play against a 2-3 zone?
You don't see it that often.
Yeah. You get a chance to practice.
I mean, you see it in pickup ball all the time. Everybody zone up. You get the ball in the middle, and you either overload. I'm like, I can't figure out how you don't know this.
But I think Syracuse is basically going to run out of gas this weekend because I think they're going to play some teams that can shoot from outside, and that's what's going to take them out of that. I won't say that. I meant to say this during the show, man. And Cunningham, that cat, Oklahoma State, he ain't ready for the pros, bro.
Remember, Ice talked about him.
I might have missed that.
Yeah, Ice was talking about him. I don't know if he's ready for the pros right now.
I think he's gonna go. But he ain't ready. He's not ready.
Yeah, but I think part of it is, and I gave him props because he's an hell of a player. I mean, probably one of the top players in the country for sure. But in this type of situation, this tournament, you got other dudes roll with you, man. No one dude is gonna win that tournament by yourself. You got to have other people, and when they don't rise to the occasion, like the last game that he played, he was taking bad shots, he was missing shots, and he couldn't lead them, and you could just tell that they were not going to go as far as you thought. And somebody else, these other teams were like, man, nobody's scared of you. You guys won some of the team games in your conference, right? But here it's like, man, ain't nobody feeling that seriously.
I don't think here again. Welcome to the NBA. If he decides to go, that's $3 million a year. How do you walk away from that? I totally get it. But he would be better suited to come back another year, man, because that dog in the heart, it's not in him, bro. His head is there. He's thinking he's made it. He's gotten it there. But I'm sorry, bro. You got to shine. I don't care what team is around you, whatever the case may be. We've seen other players on a college level that been ranked like high as he's been ranked do much better. And even the game they won to me, it was like he wasn't coming to the ball. He didn't really want the ball. I'm like, what's going on, bro? I just didn't see enough of him to think that. I mean, he's highly talented. I mean, they want him and everything, but I'm not gonna say he's overrated. I'm just gonna say his game needs some more maturing, and his head needs some more maturing.
Yeah, and like I said, with the last second shot, man, these are kids, man. And imagine if the crowds were there. They're not playing in front of crowds. So imagine if it was packed and it was a frenzy and folks, yelling and all that. I don't know if a lot of these cats could make it with all that pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure playing in these games.
Oh yeah, it is. I agree with that 100%. So when you look at it from that standpoint, that you see, that's why I say you saw like Illinois, Chicago was ready to go. They got up to their best level. And I hear now people trying to say that they think they're gonna win it all. I was like, okay.
I don't think so.
No. But I think when you see certain teams match up, now you're gonna start to see the cream rise to the top.
Even Sister Jean said they're gonna make it to the Elite Eight, and that's about it.
But it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes, because I'm telling you, that Michigan Florida State game,
that's gonna be, hopefully that's a good game, because I was looking forward to some games being really good, and they turned into blowouts. So I was thinking maybe they should have like I know when I played in the softball league, they had like a slaughter rule.
Come on, man.
Yeah, they had like, if you win it by a certain amount, by a certain innings, they're like, okay, cut the game off. Y'all ain't coming back.
No, you can't do that, man.
I tell you.
Yeah, I know, but it looked bad. It looked bad, especially for HBCU. It just looked real bad.
It did, but they hung for the first round. Then I told my brother too. I'd send him a text message. I was like, man, you better get them out the game, because them brothers might start throwing some hands.
Yeah, it's that bad.
So mad, yeah. You're frustrated. I was like, start taking people out. You better. And they finally took them out a little bit, but I'm like, you might want to take your stars out, because you got guys coming off the bench that haven't scored all year. They,
dominating.
Putting their hands up with the little three solid, scoring 3 points in the tournament. So yeah, that was kind of crazy.
So any surprises, man? You think it's gonna happen this weekend? Villanova. I don't know.
Who are they playing?
Let's see here.
I think they're going as far as they can go.
Are they playing Baylor? Oh, hell no.
Ooh.
Nah.
I don't think they're gonna get past that.
You need your boy out there now. You need your boy, the guy that was it Gillespie? What is the one that got hurt?
Yeah, because I told Ice that I think I told you that I was gonna pick what was it? Georgia Tech over Loyola. And when I heard the guy from Georgia Tech, the number one player there, got hurt, I switched it to Loyola, because I'm like, they need everybody to beat Loyola Chicago. Glad I did.
I mean, because I'm trying to think of that now. Who was it that who does Oral Roberts play?
Let me see. I got it on the TV now. Oral Roberts, they play Arkansas.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a good game.
It is, but I think they might have a little bit too much for him.
I think so too. I pick Arkansas to win that. Not against them, but I think they're going to move. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough. Oral Roberts is no joke, man.
I got a feeling that Houston is going to fall to Syracuse, because Houston and Memphis play the same way. They play like AAU teams, high school teams. And when they play that championship, they don't play discipline.
I'm with you on that. I think the team that's going to beat Syracuse is going to be more physical than they are. Yeah. I mean, they won their little zone. If you get in that zone, you start boxing out, pushing people around. Syracuse is kind of flying off their zone, and also because they're hitting shots. So I'm not sure about that too. I'm looking forward to that.
CLA of Alabama game.
Yeah, but that too. But Oregon State and Loyola Marymount, not Loyola, but Illinois Chicago, and then also Oregon USC.
Trading deadline. That was crazy. How you get rid of Lou Williams?
Please, he's a gunner. That's how you get rid of him. He's a gunner. My only problem I have with that trade for the Clippers, you gave away 2 first-round draft picks. Mm-hmm. I think I would have done it for Rondo, but that should have been an even swap. Rondo at this stage of the game should not be earning 2 first-round draft picks.
No.
That's what I understand. It's like, who's making the deals for the Clippers?
I don't know.
Seriously.
I don't know. Maybe it was, the owner listening to the player, listening to Kawhi, said, no, we need Rondo here. Maybe the players are running this, because I couldn't see just getting rid of Lou Williams. And coming off the bench, no.
He doesn't give you nothing, bro.
He don't give you nothing. He gives you buckets.
That regular season BS does nothing in the playoffs, man. Let's be honest. And not to mention, they might still have been pissed about him, doing what he did last year in the bubble in the first place. That still might be fresh in their mind. But to me, they need a leader on that team. Kawhi Leonard is not a leader. He's not there. When you look at that team, there's no leader. That's one thing Rondo will step up in the playoff and demand that they play and get them to play. Lou Williams doesn't do that, man. I'm not saying he doesn't score from time to time, but he's a highlight reel, bro. He can't play defense. He's a highlight reel.
He closer to them lemon chicken wings now. I'll be to see you, brother. Imagine
you're gonna miss some games in Atlanta, bro. You're gonna be throwing up. He's gonna be doing a Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean,
that brother gone. That brother's gone.
But it's one of them things though. When you look at that trade, that it kind of reminds me when the Clippers had the Lob City, right? And you always wanted to see them play. You always wanted to see how high they would throw the ball, how many dunks they would have. But when it came to actually winning in game time, often with the big games, they always fell short. You're like, man, why in the hell can't they win? They're exciting as hell. We want to see them. In this situation, they ran for a while, and now it's like, okay, we need to get a little bit more structure. And as much as I love Lou Williams, he reminds me of my man Jamal Crawford.
Yeah,
guys that just shoot the rock and they get hot. You say, why didn't he start and all that other stuff? But in the end, they need leadership in regards to the direction of the ball. And I think that's what Rondo does. I still think Kawhi's a leader. He's just more of a silent leader. But one thing Rondo did do last year for the Lakers, he directed people where they needed to be. Now, everybody pumping up LeBron or whatever, but literally when Rondo was there, it was like, man, get your ass over there, get over there, get over there. And one thing they need a leader on the floor. And as much as you think about Jackson and another guard, they try to do what they can. But Rondo wants to be in charge. Rondo's going to be pushing people around. He might push some people the wrong way, push their buttons and push them, kind of rub them the wrong way. But he will when it comes playoff time. And who knows, too? Everybody say, well, Rondo old. Okay, but Rondo might drop that 10 and 8 on you in the playoffs, which means a lot. He's been known to hit that little three-pointer when it counts in the playoffs, and he can drop 9 assists. That's what they need. I don't care what they do the regular season. They need that damn 10 and 8 that the Lakers had, which allowed KCP to do his thing for the Lakers. You need to have a point guard like that runs around and let other people do their job. Now Kawhi Leonard don't have to bring the ball up the court and try to be a playmaker.
Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou.
Out of there, baby. Out of there.
He closer to the Magic now. He really close to the Magic now.